Hello and welcome to How To For You. Today I'm going to show you the very basics, the very fundamentals of what you should do when you wash your car. So I'm not going into this video on how to detail your car or how to do any polishing or anything like that. This is just going to be the very basics of what you should do for cleaning your car. I'll make a separate video about what you should do for cleaning your car in the future when it comes to polishing and waxing and stuff like that. But for today, I'm just going to show you exactly what you should do, and you should follow these simple steps. So the first thing I would recommend doing before you start any car wash is I would recommend that you do wash it in a non-sunlit area. There's a reason for this, a few reasons actually. You want to do it in a non-sunlit area because as you're washing and the suds and the wash is on there, it's not going to stay to the car as well. And you're going to want to make sure that you get a good clean finish. You're going to make sure that you have no residue and substance stuck over time. So you're going to want to make sure that this is in a non-sunlit area so that you can then have the best possible way of cleaning it off and it does not adhere. So I would recommend doing it in the shade, not in the direct sunlight. That would be the first step. I would also recommend over time, never ever going to a car wash or any sort of one of those DIY washing places. Those kind of places will actually create deep scratches in the paint over time. Let's say a lot of people go to them, a lot of that dirt, debris, and grit will come off of the brushes and they'll actually get onto your paint. So you want to make sure that you're doing your own DIY washing. So you don't want to go to a car wash. I would not recommend that. After you put your car in a non-sunlit area, I would recommend the following items. This is what's called a bucket with a grit grate. You want to make sure you have a grit grate, and the reason for that is when you fill the water up, as you're washing your car slowly over time, the grit and the dirt goes down to the bottom. If you don't have a grit grate, what happens is you take your microfiber towel, you take up all that dirt and you push it into the paint, and it actually scratches the paint over time. So you want to make sure you have a bucket with a grit grate. You'll want to fill your water with your wax or wash and wax substance or any sort of car wash material. Today I'm using this Meguiar's wash and wax one. It is a pretty good one. I would make sure it's a really good quality one, and you're just going to fill it up as the directions say, and you're just going to fill this bucket up, and that would be the next part that I would start with. So for this specific one, I filled the bucket up all the way just to show you one more time. Filled about 10 of these capsules. I then put it in, and I just mix that around. So I'm going to mix that now. And as I did mention earlier, throughout this process is you're going to make sure you want to get a good quality microfiber towel. This is one that I got online. I'll put a link in the description for this and all the products I use today, but definitely want to use a good microfiber towel. Reason could not be explained enough. These get into like little nooks and crannies on the car. Plus, you know, this doesn't scratch the paint at all. So you will take this and we'll just be mixing now all of this up. Make sure it gets all nice and sudsy. You can see that it's really mixed well within there. Next, you'll just want to get whatever hose you're using. I would recommend one with not a very strong spray. So again, I wouldn't put it on the one that's direct with a sharp pointy feature like that. I would have one that just has a nice mist, and I would work your way from top down, just get the whole car wet here. So we're going to do that right now. Now that the car has gotten wet, I'm going to take my microfiber towel with my wash and wax substance. I am going to start from top going to the bottom. Again, you always want to go to the top, work your way down. That way, again, all the dirt and everything comes down. And when you do wash, I would recommend washing in a section. So we're going to start with the top of the roof, then we'll do a backside, a panel, another panel, front of the hood until we've gotten everything. And as you do it, you want to make sure that you go in a back and forth motion. You never want to do circles. You always want to make sure you go front to back, because that way, again, it doesn't leave any scratches. It's a better way of doing your application. So start at the top, go in a back and forth motion. Moving to the back section. And I am only on the second section of this car right now, but I just want to show the importance and reiterate the fact of why you want to use a grit guard. So look at how clear the water with the wash and wax substance is, and as the further down you go, look at how dark that is. That's all the dirt that's been sucked in and then released from the microfiber towel. So if you didn't have this grit guard, you'd be taking that and you'd be scratching it into the paint. So it's super, super important. So we're just gonna keep going section by section. When you get to the front of the car, I would recommend maybe going over it 2 times. Fronts of cars will always have a lot of the dirt from the highways, debris, bugs, and stuff like that. So I would recommend hitting it a couple of times. It's gonna be the most difficult to get off. So probably hit the front of your car, the hood, the windshield, the bumper, all that stuff twice. Finally, the wheels are going to be the last thing that you want to do, because again, you want to start top, go to the bottom. They are also going to be the dirtiest part of the car. So once you use your microfiber towel on those wheels, it's going to get so dirty that I wouldn't go back to a paint again, because you could risk scratching it. So save that for last, hit these tires, and then I'll show you what to do next. After you've gotten in the entire car, I would recommend going over it one more time, getting it wet, and then we're gonna take a new clean microfiber towel and we're just gonna go over the whole car and we're gonna clean it off. So get the car wet again, and then we're gonna dry it off. So just wanted to show you one more time exactly what the grit guard looks like. Look how crazy it is. So as you're going further and further, it does get dirtier and there's less water, but look how dirty that is. Super important to have the grit guard. And there you have it. After you've cleaned it with your microfiber dry towel, that should be everything. Remember, this is the basic minimum for just the baseline, starting to clean your car. This does not include detailing or waxing or anything like that. I will make a separate video in the future for that. But I'd love to know, what are your basic essentials when you clean your car, and where in the world are you watching from? Follow these steps. Again, don't use a car wash, especially a car wash. I would recommend, if anything, one of those self-serve ones with the brushes. But if you're gonna use those, make sure to clean off that brush really, really well. But always do it yourself. You wanna get a good result, you gotta put the work in. This is the baseline of what you wanna start with. You don't wanna do anything less than this. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.